Got a 4-syllable word for y'all. It is consequences. Don't be like this guy. He got kicked out of Texas State University. Now, getting kicked out of college is far worse than losing a job. You can go get another job, whatever, right? But if you got a scholarship, you're screwed. If your parents paid for it, they're screwed. You know what I mean? If you took out a loan, you got to pay all that money back. Do not be like this guy making a mockery of Charlie Kirk's death and end up getting kicked out of college. It's not worth it trying to be cool, but you have to wonder, why is this epidemic happening? Why are there so many people that are just like this guy? Maybe, just maybe, it's because of the people that are in leadership.
And they're using that opportunity to distract from the Epstein files. And that is why you see them doing this, all of them. I can't believe the liberal left is whatever, Charlie Kirk, and they are evil, and we must eradicate the evil, whatever. Hi, boss. How did I do? They're not talking about Epstein right now, right? They're not talking about Epstein. Oh, my God. They're so gullible.
Don Lemon, ladies and gentlemen. Now you have to wonder how many of these people think this way. This is insane. To say that Charlie Kirk's death was obviously, this is also saying that it's in vain, but to say that Charlie Kirk's death was to distract the American people from the Epstein files is the most evil and craziest thing I've heard yet.
And I want to start by just asking you to respond to the conversation we've been having here on this set. It's the conversation the country has been having. You heard what the Attorney General said earlier today about potentially using the Department of Justice to try and go after certain groups. Do you think that the way that she is approaching this hate speech is appropriate?
No, absolutely not. I don't think that that's any surprise of anyone that I would disagree with this current Attorney General. You know, it is sad that it seems like there are people on the right specifically that are using Mr. Kirk's tragic death to go ahead and move forward with their tragic agenda. If you believe that you swore an oath to the Constitution, then maybe you should read it. Maybe you should start reading some case law. Maybe you should understand that the First Amendment is not about speech that you like. It is about protecting speech. And to be clear, we do have laws that are on the books because not every single thing that you say is necessarily protected. In most states, they have terroristic threat laws that are on the books because you can't just go out there and threaten somebody or do things that seemingly look like threats, and you have the ability to carry them out and you can be prosecuted. If there's anything that this DOJ and this FBI director need to be doing, they need to be surveilling online to figure out who the potential real threats are. As we know, this young man who is alleged to have shot Mr. Kirk, he was a gamer. He was doing a lot online. In fact, he confessed online, and the FBI who was looking for him still couldn't find him. That tells you how adequate they are at their jobs right now. And I put this on the men and women that are currently serving. I put this at the leadership that has decided to divert at least 20% of the FBI resources to just pet projects of this president. In addition to that, we know that the shooter that was in Colorado, where children were shot on the same day as Mr. Kirk, yet no one wants to talk about it, was also posting some very concerning things online to the extent that the FBI had been alarmed about his activity, and ultimately he carried it out. The Minnesota shooter was posting online for 30 days, and people saw what he was doing, and then he did it. Maybe we should focus on policing the speech that is more than just speech, but it is leading to actual deaths instead of just looking at what hurts the feelings of conservatives.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Statistics? Not exactly like...
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. The issue is right now, they don't feel like there's any fear. Like, I don't know. It's like memes. It's just...
Nope, it's not like memes. It's not like any of that, bro. Destiny, this guy might need to be investigated by the FBI for insinuating violence. I mean, come on now. Literally, this is the proof in the pudding right here. It proves that these people cannot handle the opinions and viewpoints of anybody else. They literally want to put fear in our hearts. And most conservatives are Christian Americans and people that have some sort of religious values. People like Destiny feel that we all need to have fear in our hearts so none of us will speak up ever again. This is insane, bro. It's demonic. What else could it be?
That he had been radicalized by a leftist ideology, which drove him to do this. That's just
I'm sorry, excuse me, when?
Yesterday, he said that.
No. When was he radicalized? In the 6 months that he did remote college? Not
I don't know when he was radicalized, but I do know.
What you just said
I do know the very reasonable sounding governor of Utah has made it clear that the
he hasn't made it
you may
clear.
not want
He
to
said
hear
this is
this.
an ongoing investigation.
You may not want to hear it, Destiny.
Piers.
But the reality is, the investigators, according to the governor of Utah, have established that he was radicalized to a leftist ideology that drove him to murder Charlie Kirk. Now, let me just ask you.
That's just not true.
Let me just
There's
ask
no
you.
way to deal with it.
Okay,
You're living in a
accusing the
delusional
governor of
fantasy.
lying.
Yeah.
That's your prerogative. But
Sure.
if it turns out to have been somebody with a leftist ideology who wanted to shut up Charlie Kirk, would you condemn that?
I won't condemn anything until the president of the United States can go on air and say, all of us need to calm down.
Why do you need the president to say something before you can condemn someone else for committing an act of violence, such as taking the life of Charlie Kirk? This is what I'm saying here. There are people out here walking the streets like Destiny that literally don't care about the lives of any of us. That's how it seems. And to say you cannot condemn what happened to Charlie Kirk until President Trump says something absolutely blows my mind. These people are a problem. This is a big problem. And I believe these people are very dangerous, especially considering how big of a following Destiny has. He has a huge page. I can't believe that many people even follow this guy. And you would think that, somebody would set him straight eventually as far as these conversations go. But obviously he's good at debating. At least he'll go on here and have the debate. But sheesh. Terrifying that there are people like Destiny out here roaming the streets. Now, what people like Destiny fail to realize that they are far outnumbered by Americans that actually have a heart, that actually care about people. And it's unbelievable to see how many people were truly affected by Charlie Kirk before and after his passing, especially now. And I want to show you some of these people that have absolutely turned their lives around. This will restore your faith in humanity. Check it out.
I don't come from any kind of money, and I've never owned a suit before. My wife, she bought me this suit. Our anniversary's coming up, and we have a nice anniversary plan. We make a little bit of money now, and I'm proud to say that, because that's certainly not where either one of us comes from. And I feel good in this suit, man. And I just want my wife to know she made me feel good. It's a $300 suit. I ain't never had nothing like this before in my life. And I tell you what, okay, video flip here, so I'm gonna lose some of you. I didn't know Charlie Kirk, never met that guy before in my life. And something else that I've never done before in my life is believe in God. I'm gonna wear this suit to church. I'm gonna go to church. I'm going to try to be a better father, husband, and leader for my family. They deserve that. My phone fell down. I guess that's the devil trying to mess me up right now. I'm gonna try, y'all. Look at this suit. I look good, bro. My wife made me feel this way. Charlie's made me feel this way. Yeah, message over.
I know I'm gonna lose followers over this poem, but I don't care. They say they're against gun violence. They march with their signs, chant about peace, about love. But when the gunfire cuts down someone they despise, they celebrate. They call it justice. They laugh while claiming compassion, say they are all about love, but their love is conditional. It ends where disagreement begins. It ends when someone refuses to kneel to their version of the truth. They call him a racist, yet he never cursed another race, never spat hatred. He only spoke of Christ, the kind of love that asks people to look higher, to see more than themselves. But that wasn't enough. His faith was treated like a crime, and now his voice is gone. Not by debate, not by dialogue, but by the crack of a gun. This is how tyrants silence speech. This is how history repeats itself. Don't speak to me about love when your cheers echo louder than your prayers. Don't preach peace when you dance in the blood of your enemies. You are not against violence. You've simply chosen who deserves it. You pretend to be righteous, but your hands are red. You claim that you're fighting for a better world, but you're building it on corpses. You scream about tolerance, then spit on the grave of a man who dared to think differently. Every bullet you cheered for, every voice you silenced brings us one step closer to the nightmares of history. So tell me again how you were on the side of love. Tell me again how you were on the side of peace. When you prove with every cruel smile, every celebration of silence that your gospel is hate, your altar is violence, and your God is power.
Get ready with me to go to church. Take a shower. Showered, all squeaky clean. I'm gonna wear my church pants to church today. Can anyone guess why these are my church pants? 'Cause they're holy. Ha! Get it? Belt. I'm gonna go with this shirt for today. For today's shirt. One of my favorite Christian metal bands out there. Check them out if you haven't heard them. It's been getting colder lately, so I'm gonna add this jacket. Dry off my hair a little more. What the heck, are you seriously going to church dressed like that? Yes, I am. Let me tell you something. Let this tell you something. 1 Samuel 16 verse 7 says, "The Lord does not look at things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." That means exactly what you think it means. Doesn't matter how you dress. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter if I paint my nails, actually. It doesn't matter any of that. None of that matters. God sees your heart, not what you look like. So please keep that in mind before judging someone for how they look, especially if you're a Christian.
No matter how grim things ever look, there is always going to be hope. And it is absolutely beautiful to see people have their lives change. And then to see that Charlie Kirk is the person that led those people to God and to change their lives around is absolutely phenomenal. Now, there's a video going around of a pastor, Jasmine Crockett's pastor apparently, and he is just spreading horrible vitriol about Charlie Kirk, saying terrible things about him. His congregation is just eating it up, and I think it's such a horrible thing to be a pastor and be a member of the church and go around spreading that kind of vitriol. I feel like that's kind of blasphemous, right? So instead of showing him and showing more of these evil people, I have another pastor I want to show you that breaks down the reality of the situation. And this is what I think all pastors need to be telling their congregation: the actual truth, instead of making everything about race like always. Everybody is tired of people always talking about race. So this is how we'll end the video. You guys check this out. Let me know your thoughts down below.
Brother Charlie got murdered, assassinated a few days ago, but the truth is he was assassinated a few years ago. Once we begin to put people in office who demonize their political opponents, so you might have pulled the trigger yourself. Who demonize political opponents, who call political opponents enemies, Hitler, a threat to democracy, who say because we disagree, if you see someone Walk up to them, and if they're eating in a restaurant, tell them they're not welcome, get in their face. When you start saying stuff like that, calling your political opponents fascists, stuff like that, well, sooner or later, a kook is going to hear that. A crazy person is going to hear that, and they're going to act on it.
You're watching The Unexplained Outlook. Thank you for stopping by. Peace.